Nasruddin and the Banquet. Now Nasruddin had gotten a bit of a reputation as a very, very wise man, as somebody interesting, as somebody who told fun stories, and so much so that a very wealthy, distinguished gentleman decided to invite Nasruddin for a banquet. He sent an official invitation, and Nasruddin was very excited about this. And the rich man invited all of his friends, the noblemen and women, all the important people, and he told them that Nasruddin was going to be at the banquet, and that was why people wanted to come. Everybody wanted to meet Nasruddin. Well, Nasruddin got dressed, and he showed up at the banquet, and he was a little bit late, because he was always late. And the servants opened up the door, and Nasruddin started going in, but they said, "Excuse me, who are you?" "Why, what does it matter who I am? I have an invitation to the banquet," he said. "But, I mean, look at you. You don't look like one of the guests that our wealthy patron would invite. I mean, your shoes have holes in them, and your clothes are ragged, and your hat is really, it has seen better days. If you want, we can ask if we can get some food for you to take home." "No, I don't want to take food home. I came here for the banquet. I've been invited to the banquet." And Nasruddin kept on shouting that he had been invited, but the servants said, "No, go away." Well, Nasruddin went back home in a huff, and he took off his favorite, most comfy clothes and his favorite comfy shoes. Who cared if they had holes in them? And he put on those really uncomfortable, tight, brand new, expensive shoes that he had, and his most fabulous, elegant suit, and he didn't like it, but well, that was what he wore when he wanted to pretend to be important. And he went back all decked out with his nice, fine, elegant clothing, and then he knocked on the door. By then, the rich man and all of his guests had been waiting for a very long time, and the food was starting to get cold, and people were wondering if Nasruddin just wasn't going to come. But when Nasruddin knocked on the door and the servants opened it, they saw this splendid man arrayed in a golden turban with a jewel winking out of it, and this extraordinary, exquisitely embroidered robe. But they said, "Oh, Mullah Nasruddin, Mullah Sahib, please, welcome, welcome." And the rich man said, "Oh, welcome, come here, sit at the place of honor." And Nasruddin sat down. "Thank you. We were worried that you would not come. Servants, bring out the food." And they brought out the food, and they started serving them, and all the people started eating and chattering. But then suddenly, silence fell over the crowd as they stared at Nasruddin. Nasruddin was busy, happily, taking some of the food and putting it down his robes, taking some of the soup and pouring it on his turban, taking some of the bread and some of the hummus and putting it inside his shoes. And finally, the rich man spoke. "Nasruddin, what are you doing?" "Oh, I'm eating," he said, and continued slathering hummus on his shoes. "Nasruddin," said the rich man humbly, "you generally have a purpose for the things that you do. Could you explain to us what's happening?" "Well, yes," said Nasruddin. "You see, I came earlier wearing my comfy favorite clothes, and you turned me away. I wasn't allowed to come in because you said they had holes in them and they were dirty and torn and whatnot, and so I went back home and I put on these nice, expensive, fancy clothes, and then you invite me in and have me sit at a seat of honor at the table. So obviously, the food, the invitation, the banquet, all of this is for the clothes, not for me. They deserve to eat them. I don't. I don't matter." And he kept on putting some more soup inside his pants. Well, the rich man and all the people there lowered their heads in shame. "We are sorry, Mullah Nasruddin. You are right. Please, stop. From now on, we will be more careful."